Good evening. I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports sticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Tonight, Nebraska soccer kicks off their conference play with a home game against Wisconsin. If you're going to the game, feel free to bring your dog, because tonight is Pups at the Pitch. Kickoff is at 7:05. Turning to college football, tonight, Virginia heads to College Park to take on Maryland. Army is playing UTSA in San Antonio, and Utah State is playing at Air Force. That game starts at 7. The other two are underway. Tomorrow night, the Husker football team has their first home game of the season, hosting Northern Illinois. Kickoff is at 6, and coverage starts at 2 right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Our sports sticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for 2 hours of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
3 eligible left, 1 to the near side. Now it's an empty set as Ramir sprints left. Back to throw, Jeff, quarterback draw. He's at a 45, got room, 50, he might go, 40, down the sideline, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Nebraska!
Becca Williams, Spring Lake, Texas serves back right. Nice pass, quick attack. Becca, Alec, big red, kaboom!
Kaliak Manis, back to throw on a play action. Looking to take a shot, throws it downfield. Pass is intercepted, I think. Picked off, Huskers intercept one at the 11-yard line. It's Omar Brown stepping in front of it. Back home to Minneapolis for Omar Brown, and he has a pick.
Liz Grigorski, former Wisconsin Badger, line drive serve, good pass. Rodriguez the slide. Wow! Andy Jackson! Kaboom! And that draws some oohs and ahs.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Well, we're here for a Friday night before a home football game. It has been almost 10 months since we've had that, because you have to go back to the Black Friday game.
Wow.
Like almost 10 months ago.
Wow, and that was, it was Black Friday.
I don't even think we had a show on Thursday night.
No, we didn't, because it was Thanksgiving, so.
Husker basketball was playing in Orlando.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, gosh, 10 months since
I know, but I love the feeling of it, though. I mean, they're starting to get things set up for tomorrow, and people are out walking around the stadium. They're in for the game. It's a fun feeling.
The town really gets into a buzz that we don't feel. We feel it 7 times a year. And you're right. There's so many alums that come back. People come from all over the state, get hotel rooms for a couple of days. The Haymarket is alive and popping. And yeah, I was just driving through campus a few minutes ago, and there's an awful lot of activity out there. People are excited. And heck yeah, we should be. It's a home football game tomorrow.
Yeah, and still a lot of excitement. I know not the start and would have liked to have had a different record going into this home opener. But, I think you and I had talked about this for a while about, as disappointing as the losses were, and you felt like you had a couple of them, well, you had Minnesota there in grasp and had the turnovers not derailed things at Colorado, but still, that's a hard way to start the season, is with a new staff, new systems, all of that, 0-2. So this is a huge opportunity. I think there's still a lot of excitement about this team, about this coaching staff, and so this is a big opportunity to try to get things rolling at home in the friendly confines of Memorial, where you got the home crowd behind you, and then try to build some momentum still with a long season ahead.
Well, people are tuning in tonight to get an update from us about the quarterback. We don't have it. We don't have an update. Matt Rurl not available to anybody today. You heard him yesterday. Just said it didn't. The tone yesterday would lead me to believe he's probably not going to be able to go, and that means it could be a really exciting day for Heinrich Haarberg. And if that's the case, I'm excited to see Heinrich get a chance to do this.
I'm excited too. Look, I mean, this offense is built as around Jeff Sims, and we've said it's going to go as Jeff Sims goes, but it's just it's so rare that you'd go through a whole season and don't need a backup quarterback. And so, for Heinrich Haarberg to get this opportunity and to see again, try to get some things going offensively and take care of the football and I think it's going to be big for him to have this opportunity. He's gone through this whole week like he's a starter. I mean, I know Jeff has practiced a little bit, but those high ankle sprains are pretty painful if that's, what it is, and they linger a lot. So, being a little bit patient with that and giving Heinrich the opportunity to go through this week. That's also, too, it's one thing to get thrown into it in the line of fire when you're preparing as the backup all week, but when you're preparing this whole week, like you're going to be the guy because the other guy just can't practice. I mean, again,
Right.
we don't know for sure, but this whole week he's been taking the one reps. Chuba's been taking the 2. So, to get those guys just even the feel of the entire week of knowing, hey, this is your opportunity. I think this is really, really huge for them. And yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do. We've seen flashes of his athleticism, and let's see what he does when it's his ball to start, if it is his ball to start.
And Chuba better be ready to go, too. I mean, this
Yeah.
is just one of the cases. It's all hands on deck for this game. I just got to imagine this team is so ready to run out in front of the home folks after back-to-back roadies at Minnesota and Colorado. And football players only get 7 of these a year, 7 at home a year. It's not like basketball where you get 15 to 18 home games and baseball gets 25 or whatever it is. 7 home games is all you get to run out of that tunnel. And by the way, it's coming out of a different tunnel this year as well.
Brand new carpet that's bright red.
It's going to be a beautiful night. Night games here are just outstanding. So I'm getting chills thinking about being 24 hours from right now kicking this thing off.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players, this is their first time experiencing it. And, as much as we hear players talk about it, and Coach Rule has talked about going on the road and the us against the world and how that brings a team together, yeah, there's just something about playing at home. And, again, just being able to work through some things, because we talked about this all week, but some of the issues with the snaps might have been with the crowd, might have been with what they've had to do because they were on the road preparing for some of the signals and stuff that were off because they were on the road. Well, now they're at home. Now they're not going to have to worry about battling that. So maybe get into some rhythm and get some momentum going offensively.
Don't have to worry about the silent count, doing all that, raising the leg, counting to 2, snapping the ball. So, yeah, all that kind of settles in for the week. The only other injury that I'll be anxious to hear you tomorrow on your report early in our broadcast is Blaise Gunnerson. You heard Matt Rule said he dinged his shoulder last week. They don't think it's too severe, but I'll be anxious to see if Blaise can go. Blaise has played well. I mean, pretty much everybody along that front 7 has played well for Husker defense. But I'll be anxious to see if Blaise can go tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll be watching real closely to see. And for the moment, the one thing about this team is they don't, a lot of times in the past and other teams that I've covered, like the guys will come out there 2 hours early, start throwing it around, run around. But this team doesn't really come out until like 45 on the clock, 45 or 50 on the clock. And so you can't really get a sense for a lot of things until they all come out there as a team. Then they go through team warm-ups, which is also different. Normally they would come out, go through individual position drills. You'd see them come out one position at a time a little bit. The sitters and quarterbacks do come out a little bit early and start going through some things, but it's a little bit harder to get a feel for how guys look until they all get out there about the 45, 50 minute. And then they do team warm-ups. They go along the lines of doing the stretches and the warm-up drills, and then they go to their position groups, and then they start going through some plays. And so it's a little bit longer to get a feel for how guys look. But like last year when Casey Thompson, he came out, he was in street clothes a couple times.
You knew.
So we knew. And so I just don't know if we'll know up until maybe closer to that 45-minute mark on the clock.
I don't know if the participation report
I
applies,
forgot about that this year.
But does it apply for non-conference games, or is it only conference games? I don't know.
Did you get one last week?
Not really. Not really. I mean, they brought us the travel roster and stuff, but I don't know that anybody did. I'm going to have to ask that. I may text that during the show and see if I can get an answer on that, because that's supposed to be 2 hours out, so that'd be about the time you and I are doing a hit on countdown to kickoff. We maybe get a piece of paper telling us what's going on there. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's a big – football weekends are big for every sport on campus because every sport utilizes them as big recruiting weekends. So you're going to see volleyball recruits, basketball recruits, track and field will probably have – Mark Manning sometimes will have even recruits on campus. They take advantage of it because there's no bigger theater to show off Husker Nation than the home football game. So the sideline will probably be pretty busy tomorrow night because, one, it's – the weather's great. It's a night game, so you can get recruits here tomorrow morning. And football's got a couple of pretty big-name kids that are going to be on their way to Lincoln to check out Husker football. So that's another big part of this, particularly early in the year, is all the sports like to take advantage. I know men's basketball, I saw a tweet earlier today. They've got a recruit on campus already today. I'm assuming Amy Williams probably has some recruits coming on campus as well. So
yeah, I talked to softball coaches. They've got some recruits, and I mean, it is like you said, there's only 7 of these, and sometimes the schedules don't always line up. But this is the early ones. A lot of times are the times that you really get this opportunity, and so yeah, and a night game at that, you don't get a lot of those either. Right. But there's so many things that they want to take advantage of with these recruits, getting them on campus here on these early games. So
be a big day. Virginia and Maryland underway. A little Friday night football. The Cavaliers marched it right down the field. They've taken a 7-0 lead on Maryland. Maryland fell behind last week, 14-0 to Charlotte, and then rallied and rolled. But Maryland went 3 and out, punted, and Virginia went right down the field. That's an old ACC rivalry. Those two probably go back 100 years, and obviously Maryland left a few years back to join the Big Ten. So we'll keep an eye on that. Also, we'll keep an eye on about an hour, Husker soccer getting ready to start their conference season at home against Wisconsin. If you are looking for something to do tonight, it'd be a beautiful night to go out to Hibner Stadium and watch some Husker soccer. They're playing really, really well. Not ranked after they lost to St. Louis on Sunday, but they're getting votes. And open the conference with Wisconsin. That's usually a pretty good rivalry. So that starts at a little after 7 at Hibner Stadium. You're thinking about running by after we get off the air tonight. I
am. It's you heard Henry talking about it's pop at the pitch night. And so I always like to, first time without Sammy, but I got Sunny this year. So I'm going to run her out there and have some fun out there. And it's like you said, it's a beautiful night. And this will be my first opportunity to actually get out there in person. So I'm excited.
Should be good. So if you're looking for something to do, we'll keep you posted in hour number 2 with some of the scores. All right, here's what we have on the program tonight. Jeremiah Searles and Jessica knocked out their Sideline Slice with Searles podcast earlier in the week. We're going to play you a good portion of that here in just a couple of minutes. They'll break into Colorado recap, look ahead to this game with Northern Illinois tomorrow. Hour number 2, we got picks to make. It's a Friday night. We've got our Choices Treatment Center Big Ten picks to make. We'll review last week's scoreboard, which was ugly for some. So we'll have that.
Searles.
And
Searles.
I wasn't going to say that. See, I'm always nice to him.
Right.
We're also going to have the Chancellor, Rodney Bennett's going to stop by. He's got to be excited. His first home football weekend as Chancellor of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln as well. So looking forward to having the Chancellor come by and spend some time with us. And it's your show. We want you to be a part of it as well. 402-413-2400. That's get you with a call or a text. We'll interact with you throughout the program tonight here as well. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Sports Alley Hotline. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with Jeremiah Searles next.
Greetings, human neighbor.
Hey, Zendar. I brought you a little gift for suggesting Nebraska Pick 5 from the Nebraska Lottery. It's a great game.
Affirmative. Since the Pick 5 jackpot grows by $10,000 each time it is not won, your enthusiasm is logical. However, no gratuity is required.
You sure? It's 10 gallons of wiper fluid.
I have reconsidered. Would you care to help Marlex and I consume it?
No, I'm good.
Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate and process your claims. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. You can trust Innovation Refunds with your small business's ERC claim because of their SOC 2 Type 1 security compliance. Without this, how can you be sure a company can protect your information? It's not like here on the radio, where all you need to be secure is a censor button. My password to my bank account is Ty's cool password 1. Uh-oh. Luckily, Innovation Refunds is more reliable. Go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS to get started.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Every day, Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed a hungry planet. Partner with a team who knows the entire roadmap, equipped with local expertise and proven products. Get your seed recommendations with CVA's Go Early Seed program. Register to win $7,000 off a seed box purchase when you visit cvacoop.com. There's room at the table. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. I'm going to show you my steps for making the perfect radio ad. This one's about innovation refunds and the ERC. First step, be relatable. I like pizza and puppies. 2, cold hard info. The ERC is a tax credit for eligible businesses that kept employees on payroll in 2020 and 2021. So if you qualify, Innovation Refunds Network of Independent Tax Attorneys could help you claim it. 3, go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
Well, tomorrow's is our Acres Ag Day at the stadium. It's presented by Beck's Hybrid, Central Valley Ag, and Pioneer. You will see some farm equipment up on West Stadium Drive tomorrow as we celebrate our biggest industry in the state of Nebraska, agriculture. Looking forward to seeing some of those displays tomorrow in and around the stadium. We're always looking forward to seeing Jeremiah Searles, who does a weekly podcast with Jessica called Sideline Slice. And here was a bit of this week's episode.
Well, let's start with the defense because you have to start with the defense. Yes. And before the game, I was chatting with Terrence Knighton, and you could tell he was fired up. He knew that it could be a big day for his guys, and boy, was it. I mean, 8 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. So many guys on the defensive line were just living in the backfield, and that was one thing that Coach Rule said at halftime. We're doing a great job of pressuring the quarterback. And a lot of the freshmen, I mean, without Ty Robinson, you saw a lot of guys step up and get in on the action, and guys' names that we hadn't called yet, but Cam Linhart, I think you saw flashes, and we've seen flashes from him, but how special he could be. Then you had Riley Van Poppel get in on the action. Kai Wallen, there were a number of guys on that front that were able to impact the game, and they were just rotating, and it was pretty seamless how they were running guys in and out, and you didn't fall off when you were substituting guys in. And again, that is without Ty Robinson on that line in the first half.
Yeah, no, guys stepped up in a big way. You know, even guys like Elijah Judy who went in there and put on there. But, you know, the guy that really stood out for me, he didn't play much last week, was Gaber. You know, Mekhi Gaber went in there and absolutely was a force. He was lining up at middle linebacker, outside linebacker, rush end, and he was just playing with it. Really, really good motor, and he was affecting the quarterback. And then, you know, you talk about those guys up front. They wanted to try and come out and run the football a little bit, and there was nowhere to go. Like, they were doing a great job of slanting, staying in their gaps, not allowing double teams to get up on the linebackers. And whenever you can have a freshman like Lenhart have 2 sacks, right, you feel really good about what the future of his play here could be. And we talked about this. If you're going to play young guys on defense, you're going to take your licks sometime. It's like they're going to get got, right? That just comes a part of being growth and part of being a young player. But when you see the jumps and you see the flashes that young players can make, you get really excited about what the future can be. And so, yeah, with no Ty Robinson, that room had to kind of go through D-line by committee. And I really thought everyone did a great job. I mean, even Nash Upmaker was in there pushing the middle of it like he always does. And you got to see guys really step up to the plate and say, I deserve a seat at the table. I deserve a spot in this lineup. And I think we had like 18 defensive players play again, which is crazy. But you're absolutely right, Jessica. There wasn't this giant drop-off, right? And that means we're building depth on defense.
And that was
depth on defense is really important down the stretch because Big Ten plays a war of attrition.
And that was a concern that you and I had talked about going into in fall camp in the summer about the depth of the D line. 2 games in, I know it's still early, but I mean, you got to feel better about where that group is at with some of the guys that have emerged that maybe we weren't sure if they were ready. And I think they're proving so far that they are ready to contribute at this level.
Yeah, you know, it's still early. I'm not ready to anoint anyone kings yet.
Right,
but,
yeah.
You know, it's been promising to see the production that those guys have had. You know, they haven't looked lost. They look like they belong. They look like they can contribute. And, you know, it's now just can they do it week in and week out? You know, especially going in 0-2. How's their psyche? How's their mental? A lot of these guys probably came from high schools that were pretty good because they were D1 players. Right, they help their teams will. So it's a lot about how can they sustain that energy and keep coming to work and keep coming to practice and understanding what it means to be a team player. You know, it's good, but honestly, anytime you can have that many defensive guys rotating in and keeping us fresh, it's going to pay big dividends for us down the stretch.
All right, let's talk about the secondary. And, you know, that was a big key matchup for you against those wide receivers. And, again, they got going in the second half. But in the first half, I sat there and saw it. Those Colorado wide receivers were frustrated. And I thought the Husker defensive backs did a pretty solid job matching up against those elite wide receivers for the most part in the first half.
Yeah, the pass rush and the pass protection, pass defense, I guess, would be what it was. The coverage really mirrored well, right? Tony White really mixed in the ability of blitzing with man coverage, blitzing with zone coverage, and then dropping 8. Right, I thought he did a great job of not leaving too many guys out on an island too often. And the thing that was really impressive, Jessica, was the tackling. You know, there was a few catches in there in that first half that if there's guys like Singleton, Omar Brown, Quentin Newsom, and Hartzog aren't making open field tackles on gifted athletes, it's touchdowns. Right, it's touchdowns. And through 2 weeks, our tackling has been very, very good. I can't think of a lot of missed tackles. You know, there were so many times the last few years you and I got on the show and we're like, man, felt like guys were missing tackles all over the place. But these defensive backs are being called up in this 3-3-5 to understand they have to be physical to point of attack. They have to come up and run defense in the box. And if they're going to be out of man coverage, they got to get guys down on the ground. And I thought they did a phenomenal job of that. Obviously, things in the second half got away from us a little bit. Tommy Hill got caught with his eyes in the backfield, and Travis Hunter does Travis Hunter things running right by him, or that might have been Xavier Weaver, but regardless, he got caught once or twice, and then they kind of got into a little bit of a rhythm, which threw us out of our defensive rhythm there in the second half. But I think they did just wear down a little bit. You know, they played, I think, 75 snaps was what I counted. You know, so they played a lot of snaps. That's 2 weeks in a row. They played more snaps than the offense. You know, so they're getting wear down, and it did get a little hotter on that field than I think people realize, too.
Okay, well, let's close the chapter. Let's move on. You got Northern Illinois coming in here, the home opener. And as we've said, Jeff Sims leaves the game there with an ankle. There was no medical tent, so I could see what they were doing. They retaped the ankle. He jumped up and down. He ran out there like he was ready, and then he got pulled back off, and they stuck with Heinrich Harburg to close out the game. What are you looking to see out of those quarterbacks, whether it's Heinrich or Jeff? What are you looking for to see how this offense can get going, whoever the quarterback is?
Yeah, no, the good news is I think Sims and Harburg both have very similar skill sets with their legs. Now, Sims obviously has more experience. He's played in a lot of football games, you know, but I think when you talk about will the offense change dramatically if Harburg is in and Sims are in, it's not. And that's why you always want to have backups that are similar to each other, right? If we were talking about Sims and Purdy, pretty different caliber of players. Purdy can run now, but he's not quite the dynamic runner that Sims is. Now, I think with Harburg, you're going to want to see a lot quicker passing game, a lot more RPOs, just because he's not as developed as a passer yet as far as seeing the defense, understanding pre-snap reads, and doing all that. So that would be more of what I would expect to see. If Sims can go, I fully expect him to go, but ankles are tough. Ankles are one of those things that a week turnaround on an ankle, regardless, because in the moment, he's able to jump up and down, the adrenaline's pumping, he wants to get back in the game. You go get on a flight, you come home, that thing swells a little bit. It's hard to get swelling out of an ankle and feel like you can be your full self. So I hope that if Jeff Sims is not 100%, I think it's the Harburg show to roll.
So we haven't seen Teddy Prohaska yet, and we keep hearing that he's ready to go. Is that something that you'd like to see? And again, I know it's a lot of it is these guys have been playing a lot together, but is that something you maybe would like to see get worked back in there, maybe move Turner around a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Our guard play needs to be better. It's not great right now. It's very erratic. You know, there's times it looks great. There's times it looks really, really poor. And that is the death sentence of an O-lineman, is inconsistency. Because you can be the best O-lineman in the world, but if you give up 3 sacks a game, you're the worst. It doesn't matter what the other 70 plays were. If you had 77 plays and 74 of them were phenomenal and 3 of them were sacks, you're going to get looked at as the worst offensive lineman in the country. And it's not fair by any means, but our offensive line across the board is being really inconsistent in how they go approach things. Sometimes they're double teaming and they're rolling. But our guard position needs to be more consistent. I'm talking Nuri and Piper and even Henry Lutovsky when he gets in there. So if we can get Teddy back and move Turner back in there and give him a chance to maybe bring us a little more stability because he has played so much football in there, I would like to see what that looks like. But I also want to make sure that we bring Teddy back when he's fully healthy.
Right.
Because the last thing we want is to put him out there if he's 85, even 90%, and say, all right, bud, good luck. You know, because we won't want him to get hurt anymore. We don't need him to get dinged again. So I'm all okay with holding Teddy out until he looks at Raiola and he looks at Rule and he looks at Satterfield and the trainer and goes, I'm good. I'm 100%. Let's do this.
Well, what are the things you'll be watching for with Northern Illinois? You know, Coach Rule had talked about how this is a pretty good defensive front, and also when you got a team that's coming in here that's nothing to lose in an atmosphere like this, and they've got a quarterback that's familiar with playing Nebraska and at this level, what are the things that you'll be looking for out of this team to try to get their first win of the season?
Yeah, you know, number one, obviously, who's the quarterback? I'm going to assume that Harburg's going to play. You know, I'm not going to assume that Jeff Sims is going to play. That's going to be a very pleasant surprise for me on Saturday if I see that. But if that's the case, we got to make sure he doesn't get hit early in the pocket. We got to make him feel comfortable because this is going to be arguably the most talented front Nebraska has seen yet. I know, hold your breath, Husker Nation. That's not what you wanted me to say. But overall, NIU has got a very talented defensive front. And so they're going to come after us, especially with the new quarterback. They're going to dial out some blitzes to come after us. So we got to keep him clean in the pocket early. And then Rocky Lombardi, love the dude. I think he's a great name, right? You couldn't ask for a better quarterback name in college football. You know, he looked really good against Boston College in the opener. Last week, I think he threw 3 picks. Right, so he's kind of erratic too. He's a guy that will try and force a ball deep or force it into multiple triple coverage, double coverage because he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and rightfully so. Dude's a cannon, but almost sometimes a little too much confidence, and he'll put some up there for us to go get. So I do think this is a game we could get some turnovers off of them, build some momentum, keeping those guys right, and then we need to make our kicks. Not trying to come down on Albano here, but if we get a chance to score, momentum shift, all that, we got to make sure we're making our kicks.
All right, players to watch, offense, defense.
Yeah, you know, offensively, I want to see Billy Kemp. I want to see him get more involved in this passing game. You know, we saw flashes of it last week. He needs to be an outlet guy that we can go to at any moment, get himself open, yards after the catch type of thing. And we can't afford for him to have a no-catch game, a 5-catch game, a no-catch game, right? We need him to just continue to get better and better. On the defensive side of the ball, I want to see Nick Henrich get more involved. I thought he played some great heads-up, heavy IQ plays, and I really want to see him get more involved in this football game, more involved. You know, we have a very talented group of linebackers, so it's going to be hard to decide which ones we want on the field at one time. You know, but he's a guy that I think that you can blitz, drop, do a lot of things, and really was pleased with the way that he came back.
All right. Well, you remember your first home opener. There's a lot of guys that are going to be running out there for their very first time, and we're celebrating 100 years of the stadium. It's going to be a night game. I think they have a light show, all kinds of things going on. I mean, there's a lot of emotions to this thing. Also, moving the tunnel walk over to the other corner.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one's going to be not excited, I'll tell you that. It's going to be an absolute riot. I guarantee you everyone's super excited to get back at home. 2 games on the road to start the year is brutal. So everyone's going to be really excited to get back to Memorial Stadium. This is Rule's first time running out in a full Memorial Stadium, right? The spring game's great. Nothing beats the environment of a night game at Memorial Stadium, especially as the home opener. So a lot of excitement. But just like I said against CU in the Keys, managing your emotions and managing your excitement for your home opener is just as equally important for the home team as it is the away team. Right, because you can let that excitement get out there and you can play way too high and run way too hot and kind of burn yourself out. It's going to be important that Rule manages all these guys and understand, hey, it's still just a game. Be in the moment. Don't look around too much. Like, take a second, look around, but then get locked right back in with what you got to do.
Again, that was the Sideline Slice presented by Valentino's Pizza, the official pizza of the Huskers. Few things that, of course, he was on the call last week, so he had a good vision of all that was unfolding, but I thought it was pretty interesting what he was saying about maybe getting Teddy in there and moving Turner to guard, because guard has been a little shaky, which we have seen some rotation there with guys going in and out of that guard spot, so maybe trying to get some consistency there at that.
I think that'd be good, and I think we're all anxious to see Teddy play more. When we've seen Teddy play, he's been really good. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy. So.
Yeah, and again, just don't push it. If he's and that's what he was saying. If he's 85%, don't push it.
Right.
But let's make sure he's 100% before we put him out there.
And the full podcast is up, right?
Yes.
If people want to go hear the whole thing. That was a good chunk of it, but yeah, that was about a third of it, probably.
Yeah. We all, how he gets going sometimes.
He's coming back next hour.
Yeah, this is like the Jeremiah Searle Sports Nightly.
I'm not sure I like that, but it's a Friday with Jeremiah. Hey, folks, 402-413-2400. We're going to open up those phone lines, and our text lines are open for you as well, so we can talk to you if you want to be a part of the program. What do you think you're going to see tomorrow? What do you hope to see tomorrow? Love your input on all of that. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. Woodhouse, your trusted auto partner with 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back with more of the show next.
Every day, Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed a hungry planet. Partner with a team who knows the entire roadmap, equipped with local expertise and proven products. Get your seed recommendations with CVA's Go Early Seed Program. Register to win $7,000 off a seed box purchase when you visit cvacoop.com. There's room at the table. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear. I have reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hubbard here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty in town.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. It's a Friday night before a home football game. 402-413-2400. The number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. On our text line, Jim in Columbus. I'm taking this game one step further tomorrow, so I'm going to be saying a few extra prayers that they can win this dang game tomorrow night. Go Big Red. You may not be alone, Jim. Maybe a lot of people doing that.
Well, that's what you were saying last night. It'd probably be good for this team to win a close one. I'm like, I don't care how they win it. Just get a win. Just get a win and get this thing rolling, because I think that just could do a whole lot for the confidence. Just get that first one, and then you never know from there. So they just need to find a way to get to the win column. I think that will alleviate a lot of pressure, but yeah, however they can get it done. And I think we'll probably see a heavy dose of handing the ball off to those running backs, right?
I would think so, too. Yeah, I think Gabe was pretty good last week. Ramir has had some good runs. Do we see Anthony Grant again?
You know, there was one point, I was going to say this in the broadcast the other day, but there was one point that Ron Brown got up with him, and it looked like they were warming him up to go in, and then I don't know if I think it was one of those possessions where it was a quick possession, quick turnover, and so they didn't end up going to him. But it looked like he was going to go in at one point. I thought that he was, but maybe it was just a one-game deal. If he did better in practice this week, maybe they'll go to him. But he just, as big and strong as Gabe is, and we saw him, have a couple big runs, and Ramir is electric, but Anthony Grant has the ability to really break one, the big one, right?
Yeah, he does.
So hopefully he's done what he needs to do to get back, because I think he can be certainly a big help to this offense.
I agree. I kind of have a feeling he will play tomorrow.
I do too. I think he's back on the field. I think it was probably a one-game deal, and it just the offense really, they weren't out there sometimes very long.
That's right.
I mean, they would, especially in that second half, it was like they'd get out there and then it was hurry up, and then they get behind the chains and then they have to throw it. So it just wasn't a lot of situations to get him in there probably and get going.
Really, BTN does daily shows during the week they call Big Ten Today. They had a great segment today, and they do this every week. Urban Meyer sits down in a film room with Jerry DiNardo, two former coaches, breaking down film. Urban got a firsthand look at the Huskers last week because he was out there for the big noon kickoff pregame show for Fox. He was raving about Nebraska's defense.
Yeah.
And he broke down the 3-3-5, and he said, I hated facing this alignment when I was coaching. I hated preparing for the 3-3-5. And he raved about Coach White and said they're doing a great job. He said the reality is, and he's dead right, and I know some people don't like Urban Meyer, but he's dead right. He goes, that should have been a 0-0 game at half. And he goes, in fact, it probably should have been 3-0 Nebraska at the halftime. He said, so they're doing some really good things. And they went and they did some breakdown of what the 3-3-5 is. So, folks, you can probably go on social media. The Big Ten Network has a Twitter feed. They tweeted out some of the sound bites of it, but it's really well done. And, hey, like him or not, Urban Meyer knows what he's talking about. So for him to give that high praise as a Husker, it made me feel better.
Yeah, and he even said that in the post game the other day. He's like, that is, the score looks one way, but that is not a bad football team.
Yeah.
And, you know, just the turnovers again. And so you've got to figure out a way to clean that up. And it's, we saw different kinds of turnovers, but you got to figure out a way to take better care of the football. And it just, again, this thing could look completely different. But, you know, I know that a lot of people were trying to, and this is, Jeremiah and I got into this, and then we talked about it in the pregame last week, is that a lot of people wanted to compare Nebraska's 3-3-5 to TCU's 3-3-5. It's a different kind of 3-3-5 than what you typically see because it is built to be physical up front. And they have a lot of different guys that they run in there. And that's again, what I keep going back to is just, you know, for week 2, and I know it's week 2, it's still early, but they've done a lot of different things, and they've ran a lot of different guys out there, and the way that it's been so seamless is what's really impressive to me, is that they've been able to throw in a lot of different guys and throw a lot of different looks, and that is probably what he's alluding to, is that you never know what's coming.
Right.
And he's constantly, and hearing Tony talk to Coach White, talk to the staff and the players, and how they're constantly staying ahead of the game. I mean, they're trying to stay ahead of the offense, and when they start to try to maybe figure out what they're doing and where certain things are coming from, you throw something different at him. So I think that's where and that's why he's so good, and that's why he's gotten the name that he has and the reputation that he has as this defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're go look, you can find it if you get on social media. You'll be able to find those clips. It's well worth it. And as a Husker fan, I think you ought to know that there's some of that talk being done out there. And I think we all left Folsom Field going, that wasn't a 36-14 final score. In fact, it was 36-7 until the last play of the game. It was not that decisive a win for Colorado. Nebraska really just gifted those 13 points right before the half. And, again, that's what's got to be cleaned up for tomorrow for the Cornhuskers, is take away the turnovers, try to create a few more, too. And Coach White got asked that this week by the Nebraska media about, okay, you're doing really good things defensively. You're holding teams down. But we had the one interception in Minnesota, and you had the one interception of the backup quarterback from Colorado last week. So just 2 turnovers forced. And Coach White said, yeah, that's the next thing for this defense, is to go get some takeaways for our offense and maybe give our offense a short field to work to.
Well, that's what Coach Rule told me at halftime last week. That was as good as the defense has played and as good as they did. That was the one thing he said. You know, I'm really impressed. They gave up one big play there in the first half, but now we're getting good pressure on the quarterback. We've got to get some takeaways. He said that at halftime. And then after the game, when I'm doing all these interviews with the defensive players, that's one of the first things they said, is they're not celebrating what they had done so far, because they know that it's not like we have arrived, we're here. They know that there are areas that they need to improve on, and that's one of them. They've got to find ways, you know, the pass to Isaac Gifford in the end zone that
could have sealed it.
You know, should have. And
yeah.
there have been some missed opportunities to force those turnovers, and that's the one area that they've got to find a way, especially when the offense is struggling, because it's such a momentum swing. It is such a momentum swing when you can get the ball back and get a short field, and we saw that. Look what happened to Colorado when they got the ball back.
That's right.
You know?
They immediately scored.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they scored 17 points off of Nebraska turnovers in that game. And doggone it for Isaac Gifford. I love him. He plays so hard. He's playing really well. But if he hangs on to that, Huskers win that game in Minneapolis. It's over. It's a couple of kneel downs and the game is done. And you hate to put that on one player, but that's where you got to make a play. And so both sides of the ball for Nebraska, you have to have people step up and start making plays, and hopefully that starts tomorrow against the Huskies.
Well, and even, you know, the big first down play to Alex Bullock, you know, when he came over my bad. I mean, and that's what Searle said, that at some point, that's how you change the tide. That's how this thing starts turning around, is when you're making those plays.
Right.
And there are big moments where we haven't seen, because I think they're trying to do too much. They're overthinking some things, and they want to win so badly that they're just not making the plays. But they've got to find a way to start making those big plays in the big moments to start getting this thing turned around, and that ultimately gets them back in the win column more consistently.
Yep. All right, 402-413-2400. Would love to hear from you tonight. What are you hoping to see tomorrow from the Huskers? If you don't have a chance to make a call, fire off a text. Tell us what you hope to see from Big Red football tomorrow. That is our Woodhouse Auto family, your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back with our final segment of Hour 1 next.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Woodhouse Chevy is making car buying better, now with 2 convenient locations in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and our newest location in Omaha at 112th and Dodge. Plus, going on now, receive up to $6,000 off MSRP on the 2023 Chevy Silverado. Visit us in-store or online anytime to shop our current offers and inventory. Find new roads with Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley and now in Omaha. With Blue Credit, see dealer for details. Offer expires 7/31/2023.
Day by Day is the new documentary about Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers' decade-long pursuit of a national championship. Featuring interviews with former players and coaches, as well as famous fans like Peyton and Archie Manning, Larry the Cable Guy, and numerous NCAA and NFL legends. Day by Day is the riveting, untold story of one of the most dominant, celebrated, and controversial football teams ever. Now available on demand.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. The only designated R1 research university in Nebraska, UNL's innovations power economic growth, precision ag production, tech breakthroughs, and future leaders in Nebraska. With the highest graduation rates and highest median earnings for recent grads of any public university in Nebraska, UNL is doing big things for our state.
We're back inside our Acres Broadcast Center. Acres is the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody, and a cameo tonight. Sunny has made an appearance.
Sunny is in studio.
You know,
it's a Friday party show, and we're going to go out to the Pup at the Pitch. Was that what what it's called?
Yeah, Pup at the
Pitch. Yeah. Or her first time getting to go out to that. So we're going to run out there after the show.
How old is Sunny now?
Sunny is just over 3. She's 3.5 months.
3.5 months.
Yep.
Okay. Not done growing yet.
No, and Cole was saying when she got in how much she's doubled in size. So it's hard for me when you've got a puppy to know.
Yeah, you don't see, because you see them so much.
Yeah, and so, but she went from 5 pounds to 10 pounds.
Well,
so
welcome, Sunny. Good to have you here in the studio here tonight. Let's go to the phones. Let's go over to Logan, Iowa. Raj, you're up next here on Sports Alley. Good evening.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Great, thanks.
Say, I'd like to kind of brag on the defense. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of football people out there that know this, but running that 3-3-5 isn't something you just walk off the street and do. I mean, they have put together kids that want to play the 3-3-5, taught them well. I think that's where you hang your hat right now. I mean, let the offense get caught up. But the previous regime was on the offensive side of the ball. These guys start with defense, and to me, that's where it all starts. And then you work in your offense, and it'll take them time. But I think there's nothing but an upside here.
Raj, I couldn't agree more with you. Appreciate the phone call. Don't be a stranger. Call us back some other time. I think you're spot on, and I think Matt Rule knows that too. The 2023 Huskers are going to have to play great defense, be very good in special teams, and try to get better as the year goes on offensively.
Well, and what he said about, the quick turnaround with the defense too is also spot on, because and I've been saying that, just being able to listen into huddles and take in the communication of the defensive staff. It's really, and we told Coach White this, and I told him this when he was here on his show the other day during one of the breaks. It's hard to believe that a lot of these guys had never coached together before, but the communication is just, it's like a well-oiled machine already, and you didn't expect that so quickly, being that it is a new system and it is different, and there's so many different coaches and guys playing for coaches that they hadn't played for, and a new defensive coordinator the guys hadn't coached for, but it really is, and the way, and they're also, it's not only is it a new system and they're doing a lot of different things, but they're also running in a lot of different guys at different situations, and so the way that they're able to continue to move through that so seamlessly and so quickly in just 2 games. I have been absolutely blown away by that defensive staff. There's no doubt about it.
Raj, thank you. Call of the week. Well done.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Just don't turn the ball over. The defense is going to.
Yeah.
We've seen that the defense is going to be able to stop. We've seen 2 completely different offenses that the defense has done a solid job against. So, as long as you just don't give the other team the ball, they're going to give you a chance to win this football game.
Jordan in Binkelman said, would love to see a penalty-free offense and not have to take timeouts because the play clock is running down. I think just more efficient and more well-run. And pre-snap penalties drive everybody crazy. We've had some of those, and last week, and I think some of it might have been the crowd noise. We had to burn a couple of timeouts in the first half because we weren't quite ready and set. So, yeah, just clean it up. And we talked about it in postgame with Matt Rule last week, that it's not very smooth right now. And he knows it. They all know it. They know they have to operate better.
And it takes a little while sometimes. It takes longer for the offense to get going, to get into a rhythm than it does the defense, and especially being on the road. And I even did a report on that at the beginning of the game last week. It seemed like there was some miscommunication going on between the O-line and the running backs, and they were not on the same page, and maybe it was disrupted a little bit by the crowd and all of that, but it's just something that they've got to keep working on, and the more they get out there, the more hopefully they'll work through it and get going. But yeah, I mean, as Raj said, just rely on that defense to get going, and the big thing is only thing you have to do is take care of the football. It's okay to punt. It is okay to punt that thing away.
Folks, buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Crazy game going on in College Park right now. Virginia leads Maryland 14-7. The Cavaliers, who are 0-2, scored the first 2 touchdowns of the game. Maryland had a kickoff return for a score to make it 14-7. The Cavs driving again. Their early second quarter. And so this is back-to-back weeks that Maryland has fallen behind early in a game. Do they have another comeback in? And we'll keep monitoring that. They're going to start some soccer off out at Hibner in about 10 minutes. Good luck to the Huskers as they take on the Badgers. When we come back, you ready to do some picks? Ready to do some picks?
Yeah,
this
let's
week?
do it.
Okay. All right. Let's see. The students hopefully can rally. What did they do last week? We'll get an update on that. How did our friend Jeremiah do?
Not
He's going to
so
join
well.
us next hour. Yeah, he's not overly happy, I don't think, with it. I said that he might get in the transfer portal.
Nope, he's going to stick it out. He's going to stick it out.
All right, well, good first hour of the program. So Jeremiah will join us in hour number 2. And also, hey, the Chancellor from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln will be here next hour as well. We'll get his thoughts on the eve of his first game as Chancellor for a home football game here in Lincoln. Don't go away. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics to take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Greetings, human neighbor. Hey, Zendar. I brought you a little gift for suggesting Nebraska Pick 5 from the Nebraska Lottery. It's a great game. Affirmative. Since the Pick 5 jackpot grows by $10,000 each time it is not won, your enthusiasm is logical. However, no gratuity is required. You sure? It's 10 gallons of wiper fluid. I have reconsidered. Would you care to help Marlex and I consume it? No, I'm good.
Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
Not Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Not Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not Companies building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Good evening. I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports sticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Tonight, Nebraska soccer kicks off their conference play with a home game against Wisconsin. Feel free to bring your dog to the game because tonight is Pups at the Pitch. Kickoff is currently underway. In college basketball, Michigan basketball coach Juwan Howard is recovering from a successful heart procedure he had on Friday, the university announced. Turning to college football, Virginia is leading Maryland 14-7. Army leads UTSA 14-7, and Utah State and Air Force is currently underway now. And tomorrow night, the Husker football team has their first home game of the season, hosting Northern Illinois. Kickoff is at 6, and coverage starts at 2 right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Our sports sticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
3 eligible left, 1 to the near side. Now it's an empty set as Ramirez sprints left. Back to throw, Jeff, quarterback draw. He's at a 45, got room, 50, he might go, 40, down the sideline, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Nebraska!
Becca Williams, Spring Lake, Texas serves back right. Nice pass, quick attack. Becca, Alec, big red, kaboom!
Kaliak Manis, back to throw on a play action. Looking to take a shot, throws it downfield. Pass is intercepted, I think. Picked off, Huskers intercept one at the 11-yard line. It's Omar Brown stepping in front of it. Back home to Minneapolis for Omar Brown, and he has a pick.
Wiz Grigorski, former Wisconsin Badger, line drive serve, good pass. Rodriguez the slide. Wow! Andy Jackson, kaboom! And that draws some oohs and ahs.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We are back, final hour of the week, and final hour for us tonight. It's a Sports Nightly Friday night. Huskers have their home opener tomorrow night. 24 hours from now, will probably be early second quarter of the game tomorrow night. Well, time for us to dive into some picks. Review last week that the picks, the crown is back on.
Listen, this is a different.
Wear it while you can.
This is a different crown. This is from Carla, one of our favorite listeners. Mailed this in with a bunch of high chews. So you know what? I'm going to support it, but I should pass it over to you. This would look good on your head. I think you're the reigning champ of the week.
I was saying, wear it while you can.
Is that a tiara?
Yes, it is.
Oh, gross.
Carla, the same wonderful woman who sent us in pizza and for your birthday, sent me a crown. You know,
she is a saint among men.
All right, these are our choicest treatment center picks of the week, but we have to review.
Yes,
last
we do.
week's results.
Yes, we
don't
do.
have to.
Because somebody did
we're
really
on to
bad
week
last
3.
week.
We're on to week 3, okay?
But we have to update the audience so they know where we are with all these picks. Indiana rolled Indiana State. We all got that right. Kansas, Illinois, 4 of us, the students, Cole, Jessica, and I, all went Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Jeremiah was carrying the Big Ten banner. I will give him that. He went Illinois, and then they came up short.
He thought he was going to get a big point on that one, too.
They tried to lose that game. Listen, I thought they came back at the end. They looked like the Illinois we thought they would be, but, man, that quarterback for Kansas is special.
He's good.
He's really good.
Yeah. We all had Ohio State over Youngstown. We all had Penn State over Delaware. Those were easy picks. Then a pick that and a game I was really intrigued by was Purdue at Virginia Tech. They had over a 5-hour weather delay. They finished I was on my couch watching the end of that game, and they kicked off, Jessica, same time we did in Boulder.
Yeah, they were stalled out. They were getting like hot dogs, I think, from the concession stand because they didn't have enough food, and they almost canceled it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't because it got me another point to separate from Searles.
Boiler up. You and I both went with Purdue. Jeremiah, Cole, and the students went Vatek and the Hokies, who are back on our board again this week. But, yeah, Jeremiah, that's a pretty good win for Ryan Walters year 1 at Purdue to go on the road and beat Vatek.
Yeah, especially, after the rough start the first week, to go back on the road, get his team settled down and go back out there and to battle through some adversity with the delays, big-time win for them.
We all had Michigan over UNLV. We all took Iowa over Iowa State in the Cyhawk game. A little surprised nobody went with the Cyclones, but they're kind of a mess right now in Ames.
They really are. I mean, and they've got gambling issues, I think, have hurt them even more so than Iowa. And it's They haven't looked as good these last couple years as that Iowa State team that made the run, 3 or 4 years ago? Yeah. Or when Brock Purdy was the quarterback?
They don't have the NFL talent like they used to have.
No.
I mean, look, Breece Hall's running all over the place. Brock Purdy, they had Will McDonald last year who went in the first round. They just don't have the top-tier NFL talent that they're used to having.
Speaking of a mess, Michigan State's a mess right now. They did win last week. We all went with Sparty, but the end. It's over for Coach Tucker. They haven't officially done it, but there's no way he comes back from this. We will see them later in the year in East Lansing, but they are undefeated at this point in time of the season. Here was another interesting game, and we were split on this one. Northwestern home taking on UTEP. The students, Jessica and myself, all believed in the Cats, and they win.
Yep. We rolled the dice there, and again, another separator from Searles. I can't complain about that.
Listen, I bought into the week 1 hype of all these other teams of how bad or how good they were, and I'm going to have to wear that one on the chin the rest of this breakdown.
I feel like you pick, if teams make you mad for losing the week before, you won't pick them the next week.
It's because Indiana screwed me 2 years ago over and over and over again.
And Cole's following along. Cole, you're following along with Jeremiah. You had UTEP in this game as well.
I've gone down a bad path.
Yeah, that's a bad path. Wisconsin at Washington State. Boy, the team took this one on the chin, except one person.
Yeah, you can pat yourself on the back for that one.
Wazoo wins, and we're the better football team, honestly, in that game. They've won back-to-back games over the Badgers. I was the only one that went with the Cougars in that game. We all went Maryland. They fell in a 14-0 hole, but dug themselves out to beat Charlotte 38-20, so we all got that right. We all got Minnesota right. Gophers got their ground game cranked up. That young freshman back had nearly 2 bills rushing the football for them in their second game of the year. Rutgers-Temple. 4 of us, Jeremiah, Cole, Jessica, and myself, went Rutgers. The students went out on a limb, and it didn't pay off. They went with Temple.
It wasn't a bad pick. Sometimes you got to take one, roll the dice a little bit here or there. I mean, I didn't think they did a bad job last week.
They did not.
I would rather roll the dice on Illinois rather than Temple, but neither here nor there.
Ole Miss Tulane. I thought somebody might try to be tempted by Tulane. This was actually a pretty good football game. Ole Miss does win, and we all went Ole Miss. Now we all, except for the students, we're incorrect on the Alabama-Texas game. And Jessica, I thought you would go Texas in that game.
No, I mean, I said it. I'm not going to pick them in a game like that until they prove that they can win a game like that. And so they did. They went out and did it. And, we all kind of bought into the Bama's going in with a chip on their shoulder. But, I mean, Texas has some talent, and it showed. And they were fearless going on there into Tuscaloosa and taking that win.
Jeremiah, how surprising is that Texas was able to pull that off?
The biggest surprise for me is Alabama's lack of offensive line. I mean, they were getting sacks with 3-man rushes, 4-man rushes. They didn't have to blitz. And for me to look at a Bama team and not be able to protect their quarterback, look out, because that quarterback that they have back there is not Bryce Young. He can't create at all like Bryce used to be able to do.
All right, so one of our pickers went 10-5. That's Jeremiah. Cole goes 11-4. The students go 12-3, so they bounce back with a nice little pickup this week. Jessica, you went 13-2. That's a heck of a week, and I went 14-1. So after 2 weeks, I have a 2-game lead over Jessica, 25-2. I mean, come on, that's almost outrageous start for.
It's a pretty solid start.
Jeremiah, Cole, and the students are all tied at 20-7 through 2 weeks. And this is going to be, I think, kind of a boring week, guys. I really do.
I don't know if there's going to be many different picks here.
So let's start. Jeremiah, Maryland, who did kind of get into a hole last week but came out. They play an old ACC rival of theirs, Virginia. Who you like in this one?
I like Maryland in this one. I think that they figured out what they want to do on offense, how they want to score, and how they want to brand of football they want to play. Give me the Turtles. Give me the fighting Turtles.
I'm with you. I'm with the Fighting Turtles as well. That offense is way too explosive, or can be, has the potential to be way too explosive for Virginia to handle.
Virginia's just kind of a mess themselves right now. That's a program that's kind of lost its footing. Cole, where are you at on Virginia, Maryland?
I'm on Maryland.
Okay, it's a clean sweep. The students also go with Maryland. Jessica, I know where you're going with this one. This is the big noon kickoff tomorrow. Penn State at Illinois. Illinois is 1-1. They've given up a lot of points, and they're playing one of the best offenses in the country.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm not picking against Penn State, but you do remember 2 years ago it went into, 9 overtimes?
9 overtimes, yeah.
So, and that was at Penn State. But I'm going to roll with the Nittany Lions as per usual.
Cole?
I'm taking Penn State, too.
Okay. Jeremiah, you going to sway the boat at all?
No, Illinois is dead to me.
I told you. He gets mad at him. We won't pick him again.
And the students go Penn State, so we're all clean sweep on Penn State winning their league opener against Illinois on the road. Georgia Southern, team that we know well, came in here and won a year ago. They're at Wisconsin. The Badgers coming off of a loss. This will be a little tighter than what I think the Badger fans hope, but I think Wisconsin prevails in this game. I
think they bounce back, yeah. I mean, and there were times in that game against Washington they looked decent. They had some decent stretches, but I think they bounce back this week.
Jeremiah?
I agree. I'm with Wisconsin. They're still finding their identity on offense. They need to find a way to give Braylon Allen the football more.
Okay, Cole?
I've got the Badgers.
The students say not so fast.
Ooh.
They're calling upset. Georgia Southern, the pick by the students to beat the Badgers. Again, I think that's a game worth keeping an eye on into the second half, but I think the Badgers prevail. All right, Louisville and Indiana play at the Dome in Indianapolis, so it's kind of a neutral site game. I think I know where Jeremiah's going because of his love of Tom Allen. Jeremiah, you picking the Hoosiers in this one?
I am going to pick the Hoosiers. I watched Georgia Tech beat up on Louisville running the football, and I think Louisville's front is susceptible to a physical offensive line, so I'm going to go with Tom Allen.
Oh, he's going back.
Cole, you generally follow Jeremiah. Am I putting you down for Indiana?
Louisville. Louisville.
Louisville. Students go Louisville.
I got Louisville, too.
I do, too. I don't think Indiana's ready for this. I just don't think they quite have it together offensively. I think they'll play hard, but I think Louisville's got too much. So Jeremiah up against the stream on this.
I got to fight my way back.
There you go. Very good. All right, Jessica, we saw the Gophers 2 weeks ago. They did get their ground game. They found it last week with Eastern Michigan. But, boy, tough task going to Chapel Hill to play Drake May and North Carolina, a ranked football team. How about this one?
I learned my lesson. I'm not picking against Drake May. He is one of the best quarterbacks. He's fun to watch. That offense is electric. So I don't think Minnesota's going to be able to contain Drake May.
I'm with you. I've got the Heels winning that one. Jay?
Same with you.
Okay.
I love that quarterback. He's so fun to watch.
He's got to be a first-rounder, right? Has to be.
There's a lot of first-round quarterbacks right now. It's crazy.
It's a good
There's
class.
A super talented class.
Good quarterback class.
Cole?
Got North Carolina.
All right, so do the students. They go with North Carolina as well. This is the Andrew Dowdy game coming up next. Northwestern at Duke. Cole, since you kind of have taken over for Andrew, how about Northwestern at Duke? Can the Cats make it 2 in a row?
Sorry, Andrew.
Well, no, he would pick Duke.
Yeah,
he would pick Duke.
So you're going Northwestern?
No, I'll go Duke.
Oh, okay. So
students wishy-washy.
The students go with Duke as well. I'm on the Dukies.
I'm on the Dukies, too.
Yep, go Dukes.
Wow, okay, clean sweep on that one. All right, Virginia Tech, who just played last week, lost to Purdue by a touchdown. They're on the road at Rutgers. Jeremiah, are we a believer yet in the Scarlet Knights?
I am. I am a favorite. I like what they do. I like their brand of football. Give me the Knights.
I said coming out of Media Day, I thought Rutgers could get to a bowl game. I'm sticking with that. I like what I've seen. Greg Schiano knows what he's doing. He's built that once. He's doing it again. Scarlet Knights win and get their 3rd win of the year.
That defense is pretty solid. So, yeah, I'm with you. I got Rutgers.
Cole?
Rutgers.
Man, okay. Students go Rutgers as well. All right. Anybody going against the Buckeyes or the Wolverines? They've got 2 kind of layups with Western Kentucky and Bowling Green.
Nope.
Didn't think so. All right, this will be a pretty good game on NBC primetime. It'll be about 30 minutes after we kick off here in Lincoln. Syracuse off to a good start, although they haven't played anybody really good yet. They go to play at Purdue, coming off the win. These two had a terrific game a year ago up at the Carrier Dome. Jeremiah, I'll start with you on this one. Syracuse at Purdue. How do you see this?
This was the hardest pick of the week for me.
Yep.
I really wasn't sure. You could pretty much coin flip this game. I think I'm going to go with Syracuse and the athletes they have out on the edge.
I'm with him. I got Syracuse. I just, for Ryan Walters and the defense that he put together at Illinois, it hasn't been as solid for Purdue defensively, and Syracuse has been putting up some points. So I don't know if they can contain Syracuse, so I'm with Cuse.
Okay. Cole?
I'll pick Purdue to have a good week here. Go with them.
Very good. I was hoping somebody would. It's a 2.5-point spread. The game is in West Lafayette. Travis Fisher, the former Husker defensive backs coach, is the DB's coach for Syracuse, and there's a couple former Huskers on that Syracuse team. Having said all that, I like them. I think they're just a little bit more well-rounded than Purdue, and I think that long game last week is going to drain Purdue a little bit. I think Syracuse wins a close one, and the students agree. They go Syracuse, so Cole is the man on the limb on this one. I like it. All right, Washington at Michigan State. I like the Huskies. I'm a big Michael Penix fan. Liked him when he was at Indiana, Jeremiah School. I think the Huskies go in and bloody up the Spartans this one. I think this one could get ugly.
Yeah, to remember the name Braylon Trice, that defensive end for Washington is a force to be reckoned with. I think he has a massive game. I mean, I think it's a 16-point spread or something crazy like that. Like, they're going to bludgeon Sparty.
I agree. I'm with Washington.
Wow. How about that? Michigan State, a 16-point dog at home. That's just crazy.
Well, and then all the drama that's surrounding that program.
$100 million coach.
Yeah, which they're only going to pay him about 10.
Yep.
Cole, you going to call for an upset on this one?
Take the Huskies.
All right, so do the students. So we were all on Washington. This game, to me, over the summer looked like it would be a lot of fun, but with all the drama with Mel Tucker, I think it's kind of taking the air out of the balloon. Iowa's a big favorite tomorrow over Western Michigan. Anybody tempted to take Western Michigan?
Nope.
Negative.
Nope. Okay. Hawkeyes would go to 3-0 and get ready for a trip to Happy Valley next week against Penn State in prime time. Cole, you good on Iowa?
Yep. I'm good
And the students picked Iowa?
Yeah, they did. Well, we got Henry out of there. So, yeah, the students go with Iowa. They're not picking with their
heart.
Yeah.
They're picking with their head this week.
And we finish it up. Only one non-conference game because of all the Big Ten action still going on. We'll start mixing in more non-con games once we get the Big Tens matching up with each other. K-State at Missouri. The Wildcats absolutely bludgeoned Missouri last year in Manhattan. This is the return game. The Tigers have put a lot into this. I think it's way closer, but I'll go with K-State on that offensive line and Will Howard. Give me the Cats to win in Columbia tomorrow.
Me, I'm with Kansas State.
Yeah, go Cats, baby.
Wow.
Connor Beebe's a guy they're talking of, Jeremiah. Have you had a chance to see him? Cooper
Beebe is a stud. I wish he would call me back, but he is a fantastic offensive lineman for them. I mean, he's a day 2 pick all the live long day as a center guard. They have 8. Their left tackle, KT Levinson's another guy. Their center, Hayden Gillum, and they lost a tackle. But, I mean, and Ben Sinnott, their tight end, is phenomenal. That offense is really fun to watch.
It seems like Kansas State just reloads. They're also one of those teams that just reloads at O-line.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Every year they seem to have those big dudes that just block and block and block.
Well, it's up to Cole to go on the other side of this game.
I'm not gonna. K-State.
Man. So everybody, the students also with Kansas State. That line's like 2.5 or 3. I think K-State covers that. I think they win by maybe 2 scores. So
they
right.
win I think they win the Big 12 again this year.
No, sorry, that's heading to Austin, Texas. Sharks got that thing rolling.
They always lose to K-State.
All right, buddy. I knew this was boring. Next week will be much better, folks. Much more fun picks.
Which he won't be involved in because it's his yearly.
I will text him.
He'll send the picks in.
Yes.
I will text in my picks, but I will be off grid chasing bugle and elk in the mountains of Colorado.
It's a shame too because you'll probably have a good week because you picked basically the same picks as me and Greg all this week.
Oh, you better believe I'm going to tune into that Indiana game, watch Indiana, find a way to
One
win.
he went opposite of was Louisville, Indiana. So, all right, Jeremiah, great to have you on tonight. Thanks for kind of running the show. We played part of your podcast earlier, so it's kind of been the Searles night.
Love it. Hey, excited for the game tomorrow. Go Big Red.
There he is, Jeremiah Searles with us tonight. Again, those are our Choices Treatment Center picks for the week. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choice's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 for more information. Offices in Lincoln and Columbus. When we come back, the Chancellor of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Rodney Bennett, he will join us next.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in a company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate and process your claims. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. You can trust Innovation Refunds with your small business's ERC claim because of their SOC 2 Type 1 security compliance. Without this, how can you be sure a company can protect your information? It's not like here on the radio, where all you need to be secure is a censor button. My password to my bank account is Ty's cool password 1. Uh-oh. Luckily, Innovation Refunds is more reliable. Go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS to get started.
Greetings, human neighbor. Hey, Zendar, I brought you a little gift for suggesting Nebraska Pick 5 from the Nebraska Lottery. It's a great game. Affirmative. Since the Pick 5 jackpot grows by $10,000 each time it is not won, your enthusiasm is logical. However, no gratuity is required.
You sure? It's 10 gallons of wiper fluid.
I have reconsidered. Would you care to help Marlex and I consume it?
No, I'm good.
Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Every day, Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed a hungry planet. Partner with a team who knows the entire roadmap, equipped with local expertise and proven products. Get your seed recommendations with CVA's Go Early Seed program. Register to win $7,000 off a seed box purchase when you visit cvacoop.com. There's room at the table. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. A real treat for us tonight as we're joined in studio by the Chancellor of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Rodney Bennett. Great to see you. Big week here. We finally have a home football game.
Can
Chancellor.
you imagine? First, Greg, I want to tell you how much it means to me when you say, how happy you are to have me here. That makes me feel good to know that somebody's happy to see me in my coming and then my going. I'm only kidding when I say that, but I love when you say that. Every time I get to interview you, you start with something so positive that makes me, and I'm sure your other guests, sort of settle in and feel right at home and comfortable with you. So thank you for doing that.
You're very welcome. We talk on our show every night about student athletes. That's who we cover. But Husker Sports provides opportunities at the university for young men and women who are not athletes, but they get the benefit by covering or doing something with Husker Sports, don't they?
Yeah, it really becomes an experiential opportunity for so many parts of the university. I mean, I think it's easy to think about a trainer or a physician or a person who wants to go into sports medicine. But when you think about what we do through our athletics department and how relatable it is to the academic curriculum, our business students can have a role to play. Our psychology students can have a role to play. The list just sort of goes on and on and on. So it really is something that touches every part of the campus community and gives the most creative among us an opportunity to find ways to integrate what they're learning in the classroom and apply it in sort of in a real world sort of application on a sports Saturday.
One of my favorite things about college football are the bands.
Yeah.
And I bet you were excited to see the pride of all Nebraska, the Cornhusker Marching Band. Those young folks, they work hard.
They work hard. They work hard. They are just as much an athlete as any other part of the community. And I'll have you know that I'm a former saxophone player.
We share that.
Alto saxophone player. And I had the good fortune of visiting the band just as school was starting and had a chance to speak to the saxophone section. They wanted me to play a couple of notes, and I just said to them, look, I don't have the wind capacity anymore, couldn't likely hold the reed anymore, but I have an appreciation for what you all are able to do.
They do. I love hearing them when they practice and rehearse, and the sounds kind of reverberate around the campus. This was still a somber time of the year on September the 11th. We all remember back to that day, a tragic day in 2001, and I know there was some events that went on campus earlier this week.
There were a number of events that went on this week, and I was so proud and honored that all these years later that we are still remembering the individuals who lost their lives on that day and the family members who survived but whose lives were never the same and will never be the same. I still remember where I was when I heard the news and saw the news of what was going on in New York City. And it's just something that I hope our country never again has to experience. But tip my hat to everybody in our community who took the time to pause and to remember and to be grateful and thankful for what we have as Americans and how we're able to live our lives.
Well, we're sitting here in Memorial Stadium, built in memorial of the World War I veterans. It means, this stadium itself is kind of a tribute to people that have laid their lives on the line for our country and our freedoms.
And it's such a good reminder to young people of all the people whose shoulders we stand upon, all the people who paved a way for us and who blazed trails so that we could have the opportunities that we have. And I know that one of the things that we're doing here at Nebraska is helping our students to develop sort of a sense of their responsibility to pay it forward, to create for the next generation what so many other people created for us, many of whom, as you know, never benefited from the sacrifices that they made that we get to enjoy.
Well, enjoy your first of many Husker football games at home.
Yeah, go Big Red. I'm ready for a win, as are the entire Husker fan base and alumni base.
They sure are. Chancellor Rodney Bennett with us here on Sports Night. We have more of the show coming up next.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during their Discover Summer Sales event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. I'm going to show you my steps for making the perfect radio ad. This one's about innovation refunds and the ERC. First step, be relatable. I like pizza and puppies. 2, cold hard info. The ERC is a tax credit for eligible businesses that kept employees on payroll in 2020 and 2021. So if you qualify, Innovation Refunds network of independent tax attorneys could help you claim it. 3, go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. As worldwide leaders in ag technology, UNL faculty and students innovate using emerging technologies to improve yields and nutrition, and designing wireless in-field networks increasing precision in agriculture. Plus, UNL is breaking ground on a $7.2 million feedlot innovation center near Meade. UNL is doing big things for the future of agriculture.
Discover your next Ford with Woodhouse. The truck you've always wanted to the SUV you need, Woodhouse has the full lineup. Plus a huge selection guarantees you'll get the features that matter and at a smart price. Like our current offer on a new Ford F-150. Or needing the versatility of an SUV to take on the everyday. Shop our offers going on now. Find your Ford with Woodhouse online or at one of our 3 convenient locations.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear. Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hovig here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on New York equipment. The best warranty you have.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Our Woodhouse Auto family, they are your trusted auto partner with 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400, the number to be a part of the program with a call or a text. Huskers have scored. Eleanor Dale scores. They lead Wisconsin out at Hibner 1-0. They're 32 minutes into the first half, so about 7 minutes away from halftime out there. So we'll keep an eye on that before we wrap up the show. Andy in Phoenix, how much did Jeremiah pay you to not bring up his Vikings, Bills, or Chargers? All losses in week 1.
We were giving him too much of a hard time for his losses in the picks.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He was pretty bruised by that, so I didn't want to pile on.
Well, he's not necessarily a fan of the Chargers, but he likes the Bills and Vikings.
Yes, he does.
But I would say Bills are his number one.
Yeah. All right, we gave our picks. Well, how's the chat room doing? What's the standings with that group?
Okay, so last week, Crypto King went 13-2. Gavin and Mike both went 12-3 overall for the standings in first place on the chat. Mike and Crypto are tied 23-4. And got to give a shout out to our friend Andy, who is 20-7. That's worse than Searles, right?
That's the same record as Searles.
Same record as Searles. That's what I couldn't. It was either one worse or the same.
Andy.
So Andy picks against Iowa every week. I think he's one of those.
Not a good
He's
showing.
like Henry, just not going to pick Iowa.
Yeah, Henry did admit it because he picked week 1 for the students and he picked Utah State to beat Iowa. He says, I really didn't think that was going to happen. but I picked it anyway.
But he couldn't pick Iowa.
Picked it anyway.
That's funny.
All right, so the chat room, if you haven't got your picks into Crypto, he's the goalkeeper for all that, gatekeeper, I guess, for all that. So get your picks into him before the end of the show tonight. Henry actually brought up a pretty good topic. He was sitting down to get ready to do the ticker to start hour number 2, and he said, there's been some chatter after the Aaron Rodgers injury on Sunday night that maybe all NFL stadiums should go to natural grass. Better, easier on people, maybe less injuries. The problem with that is you have so many indoor stadiums. I don't know how they go natural grass in the Superdome or the Atlanta one.
Jerry World.
There's a lot of them. And I know the one in Phoenix, they roll it out, they have it on it. But a lot of places aren't set up to do that, where they can roll a field out so that it gets sunshine and all that. I don't know that it's feasible to do that.
I don't either, and you still see injuries. I know it's less, but it's not like you're going to completely prevent injuries.
Yeah, I know, you're right. You're not. Now, I think Matt Rule he'd like Memorial Stadium.
I understand all the science and everything behind it, that it's easier on the body, but just because you go to natural grass doesn't mean you're going to eliminate all the injuries. You're still going to see injuries and terrible injuries at that, but just some places are not going to be capable of being able to keep natural grass.
I agree. I know the NFLPA, and this might be a topic for Jeremiah at some point in time, I know they're kind of pushing for it. I just don't know that it's feasible with all the indoor stadiums that are around the league. I mean, think about it. Minnesota's got one. Detroit's got one. Dallas has one. New Orleans, Atlanta. The one in L.A. is kind of an open air, but it's got a roof over the top.
I guess unless there's a way to, grow the natural grass with the stuff underneath it. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
Can you put a heat lamp, like a football field size heat lamp underneath the grass?
Because grass needs sunlight. It needs natural sunlight. So I don't know if you could light it to give it the false sense of that.
I'm not a
agronomist or whatever, so I couldn't.
Agronomist?
Isn't that what it would be?
What's a horticulturalist?
Yeah, now I'm out of my league.
I don't know. I'm not good with plants. I have kept a couple of house plants, but you know what I do is, I just, anytime I'm drinking a cup of water, instead of pouring it out in the sink, I just pour it in the plants, and so that's how I've been able to keep alive. One thing I was thinking about too, though, last night when Carla had called in and asked Coach Cook about radar guns for the hitters. And, he's saying it just doesn't work. But surely someone can invent that, right? Like to where it's on up and down vertical at the net, so it maybe could.
Maybe.
Or at least maybe at an angle. I don't know.
The speeds he was talking about, I dropped my jaw when he said that. I'm like,
between 50 and 60 miles per hour?
I believe it.
That's as fast as like a fast pitch softball coming at you.
Man, that's a in Nebraska, the arm swing speeds, and I'm sure they do track that. Harper and Andy Jackson's arm speeds are just impressive.
Yeah.
Golly.
Well, and it makes you have a lot more appreciation for players like Lexi Rodriguez who stand there and take that.
Right.
Coming at them. I'm like, I'd be getting out of the way.
Well, somebody from the Huskers hit the libero of Stanford the other night right in the chops. I'm like, I felt bad. That girl's eyes had to be watering and everything.
Oh, my gosh.
Just brutal. Huskers off until Sunday night. Coach Cook's worried about this. He's worried if people are going to show up for a 6:30 match against Kentucky. I think they'll show up.
I think they will, too. I think they will.
Yeah.
And I told him what I said last night. I said, Husker fans tend to answer you when you ask them to do something. So I have a feeling.
Back-to-back Sunday night matches at 6:30.
Well, you're saying the Big Ten Network wants to do, their ratings have been so good that they wanted to do an experiment. And, this kind of, we had a text on the text line last night, I believe, that we didn't get to, but with all the publicity that is coming for volleyball this fall, does he still think that it would be better to move it to the spring?
Yeah,
but I think with the way that now we're seeing ESPN put games on a Tuesday, because there's no football on a Tuesday night.
Nope.
But there's a lot of times there's a men's basketball game or a women's. To me, like now that people are starting to pay attention and you're seeing the ratings are beneficial, and look what Big Ten wants to put them on a Sunday night. Like it's almost every night of the week now. It was a Tuesday night that they're playing. That, with football, I get that, football's kind of the big story all week long, but they're really just on one day and then Sunday. But it's a great experience. And of all the teams that you're going to call on to try to see if it works, Nebraska's that team.
They are. I'm kind of with him. I'm not a huge fan of a Sunday night. And we play basketball sometimes on a Sunday night, and I'm not a big fan of that. You have to go down to PBA on a Sunday night to see Nebraska play whoever in the Big Ten. I'm not a huge fan of that either, but it's you fit it into those TV windows, and TV's paying the freight right now, so they're going to dictate some of that moving forward.
But it's funny though, as much as, and I'm so appreciative of it, and we had talked about this last night about how maybe Nebraska, Volleyball Day in Nebraska really set the tone for kind of what we're seeing, this implosion. And Tyler Hildebrand had a great quote after the match the other day when they were here about, we will be feeling the ripple effect of this. Like, I don't know if people understand how monumental this was for the sport, for women's athletics, and it's going to continue to propel the sport and what it did. But, the reason why you see so many Nebraska games on TV is because the ratings are there for volleyball. And it's kind of what we were just talking about with Colorado. We were watching the Big Noon kickoff show there. They're back at Colorado. Those ratings have been just crazy for them,
Boo.
But that's what those
weeks.
networks do. I mean, a lot of times is they're putting the teams on that get the highest ratings.
College football is bigger than one man.
Yes.
That would be my argument against that. I'm like, college football is bigger than one guy right now. And I know he's the hottest thing going, but it's bigger than that. It's bigger than just him.
Well, you and I have also been a fan of that Fox pregame show more so than game day, but very rarely does game day go to multiple places.
You're right.
Like more than once. They rotate around. They show different campuses. That's what's cool about it. Is like if you're going to go to campus and show off these different venues and and this is a cool week. This could have been a cool week because there's not a lot of great matchups. You could have gone somewhere really neat and showcased. And maybe it's because it's still growing in the audience attendance, because again, another thing that they'd said when they came here last year was it was the biggest crowd that they had was when they came here for Nebraska, Oklahoma. And so maybe that's part of it too, is game day kind of still has this brand name that if they're coming to your campus, you're going to show up. But Fox, this show's still growing, and so maybe that's part of it too, is that they're not really wanting to go to a place that they don't know that's going to give them a good backdrop.
Colorado, I think, will end up being 8-4, 9-3. I think they're going to have a nice season, but they're going to make, because this isn't it. This isn't the last time big noon kickoff's going to be at their campus.
No.
They're going to go when they play Oregon. They may go when they play USC. I bet they end up making 5 or 6 appearances.
I was going to say 5 or 6.
That's a lot for a 9-3 or an 8-14, which I think is what they're going to end up being.
And again, it's not about, this team is this good. It's literally about the eyeballs and the interest that's in on Prime and that football team right now. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I have not said anything bad about Jan. He's doing his thing, whatever. But I do hope that they are humbled sooner rather than later.
You're not alone. Hey, folks, buckle up at the phone net. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We have winners and losers to pick for the week. Still time if you want to offer up an opinion at 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap up the show next.
Every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Beck's, the largest family-owned seed company and the third largest seed brand in the U.S., is proud to now serve farmers across the great state of Nebraska. Since 1937, our family and family of employees have been committed to building a business rooted in hard work, faith, and innovation. That's why we continue to back a quality line of products with a quality way of treating customers. We love what we do, and we're passionate about helping farmers succeed. No matter the season or the challenges you face, Beck's will be by your side. To learn more, visit BecksHybrids.com.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns for teachers.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Friday night. They've gone to the half out at Hibner, 1-0. Huskers 1-0. Huskers have the lead over the Badgers. Sounds like a pretty good match going on out there. You're going to make the second half.
I am. I'm going to take Sonny out there. It's pups at the pitch. If Cole was here, he would have yelled at you. You corrected yourself, though.
1-0.
He yelled at me for saying
1-0. Yeah, 1-0 is the proper soccer terminology. All right, time for the week's winners and losers. Henry's going to play along with us tonight. Henry, what's on your list? The loser.
They won their first game, but I'll go with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough injury.
Because, Aaron Rodgers, they brought him in and now he can't even play.
He says he's going to be back for the playoffs, though. Not ruling it out.
They won't be in the playoffs, but that's optimistic. All right, how about your winner?
So for my winner, I'll go with Eleanor Dale.
Love it.
It's a pretty obvious choice for me. I mean, she's leading the nation in goals. And what was it, two weeks in a row? Big Ten Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Yep, scored tonight.
Yeah, already has a goal tonight. It's
good.
We've been saying her name a lot here on this program.
I hated the Rodgers injury. I hate when the stars get hurt.
Yeah.
In any sport, baseball, basketball, football, I hate it when the best players.
And he didn't even play very much as a thing
like
either.
3 snaps,
Yeah.
and he was done for
Terrible.
the night. All right, what do you have?
Okay, my loser, and I really, really, really like him and respect him and love working with him when I worked with him at Oklahoma, is Jay Norvell, though, because he poked the bear. And anything that you say about Deion just gets blown up and out of proportion, and that's all we've seen all week now and heard about, and Deion by sunglasses. It's just everything that's said about Deion is magnified and amplified, and it's wearing me out a little bit. It's wearing me out. So
The team
love
all got sunglasses because of it.
yeah, I really like Jay Norvell and really respect him, but I just was like, oh, don't poke the
Why?
bear, don't poke the bear.
What do you gain by doing that? You gain nothing by
I know.
doing that.
I know. It just fuels them and calling it disrespectful. Okay, my winner of the week, how about the Phoenix Suns? They're giving away TV antennas to fans. They moved away. They're cutting being on cable, so they're moving to broadcast their games. 70-plus games on a local channel and tripling availability. Fans can fill out a form, and the Suns will ship them an antenna for free. And then they
Really?
can tune in and watch those games for free. You don't even have to have a cable package, but it's going to be more availability across the state of Arizona to be able to see the
That's
Phoenix
a cool
Suns
deal.
play. Right?
Yeah, really cool deal. All right, on an NBA topic, the Thunder are going to build a new arena.
Yes.
Came out this week. They're going to put like $50 million down. The Thunder, the organization, it's going to cost like $900 million for the city of Oklahoma City, but they're going to chip in $50 million of that. So that'll be kind of cool. That arena's pretty old, the one they've been playing.
Yeah, and obviously the reason why they got the Thunder in the first place is because Seattle wouldn't build a new arena.
That's
So
right.
they're going to
Yep.
probably learn their lesson from
Yep.
that.
And then Seattle did and got the Kraken from the NHL to come play for them. All right, my winners and losers. My loser's Mel Tucker. I mean, what a disaster.
Oh,
I mean, I think there's more to the story than we kind of know, and I don't think he's totally – I think there's some guilt on the part of Brenda Tracy, but my goodness, why do that? I mean, they had 36 phone calls between the two of them. 36. So I think there's more to that, like I said, but still, why put your career at risk by doing that? That's kind of stupid. So he's my loser of the week. Husker volleyball is my winner. What a match the other night in Palo Alto. Just dominant win over number 5 Stanford, a team they've not beaten in the last 5 tries, including losing the national championship match to them a few years ago. That felt good. And even though John Cook tried to dismiss it last night, you know deep down he wanted that one pretty bad.
Oh, absolutely. And they just looked unreal at times during that match.
Sure did. They'll play again on Sunday night.
You know what else I was thinking about the antennas? Some of these young kids, it would be one of those 90s videos where you're asking them what those, what's that antenna? There's how many
What is
people
that?
probably have no clue what that is.
Well, tomorrow's Acres Ag Day at the Husker football game presented by Channel, Farm Bureau, and Golden Harvest. Can't wait for that. Woodhouse, again, that's our trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Pre-game coverage begins at 2 tomorrow. Thanks to Henry for steering the ship. You guys have a great weekend. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear.
Live reports of a polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hubbard here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty in town.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive, Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. More than $145 million in gross revenue has been generated by startup companies founded by alumni of UNL's Angler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program since the program began in 2010. With over 230 Angler Program alumni growing businesses across Nebraska, the Angler Program is making a big impact on the lives of students, alumni, and Nebraskans.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything.